One of my favorite lines out of this Star Wars trilogy is when Princess Leia pleads with Obi-Wan Kenobi and says, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you are my only hope." I wonder if some of us as Christians feel that the U.S. government is our only hope. Hi, this is Joe Stowell, and welcome to Daily Strength. Now that we're coming to the early days of November, we're thinking about election time, when politicians maneuver for votes and the people cast their ballot for their favorite candidates. And, like it or not, for the next few years, we'll be stuck with whoever wins. And if it's not our kind of candidate, Christians can get pretty down in the dumps. To hear some of us talk, you'd think that our only hope for righteousness and godliness lies in the hands of the government. I'll never forget the time when I was speaking to a group in Florida regarding the importance of living for Christ in the deepening darkness of a changing culture. Now, I said something like, America has changed, and we're not going to get our good old America back. To which a man in the front row literally blurted out, "Oh no, that can't be. If that's true, we have no hope." I have to ask, since when was our hope to be found in Washington, D.C.? When did we start thinking that it's the government's job to uphold, promote, and protect biblical truth and values? Actually, it's not such a surprising misunderstanding. Christians in the U.S. have experienced an unusual phenomenon in the history of the world. Rarely, if ever, in modern history has there been a nation built more squarely on the fundamental tenets of our biblical heritage than America has. But that has all changed. We join Christians throughout time that have lived successfully in nations where Christ is not honored, and who lift up Jesus Christ as the light of their world in a dark and decadent world. If you feel betrayed by a government who doesn't advocate truth and righteousness, then you've really misunderstood the biblical mandate for those in authority over us. Romans 13 tells us that it is the government's job to keep the peace, collect the taxes, and rule in authority over their subjects, hopefully for the good of the people. And other than the unique relationship God had with the nation Israel in the Old Testament, he never assigned government the task of upholding and advancing biblical truth. That's our job as his followers. That's the job of the church. The advancement and articulation of godly values is up to us. And quite frankly, we no longer have the luxury of always expecting our government to help us in the process. Christians through the ages have lived under hostile, oppressive, pagan systems, and usually have thrived in those kind of environments. This was true of the early New Testament believers who, during the times of ruthless political regimes, upheld their faith under great cultural pressure. They understood that they, not their governments, were to light up their world. They followed Paul's instructions to submit to the governing authorities, pay taxes, and even honor, respect, and pray for those in authority. And they understood that a Christian's only hope is in the protection that God provides. When we follow this biblical mandate, we will shift our hope and confidence from the White House to the throne room in heaven, and it will realign our attitudes toward our leaders and release us to get on with the business of being the torchbearers God intends us to be. So no matter who wins in the election this year, remember, you are the light of your world.